Right then fellas, gather round and let's have a proper chinwag about a mystery that will make your skin crawl faster than a cockroach in a curry. We're diving headfirst into one of Australia's most baffling cases, the disappearance of the Beaumont children. It's a tale of sun, surf and a whole lot of what the bloody hell happened. So grab your favourite pint and settle in, cause this is one beach day you won't be forgetting in a hurry. Picture this, January 26, 1966, Australia Day. A scorcher of a day in Adelaide, South Australia. The sun's blazing, seagulls are squawking and families are flocking to the iconic Glenelg Beach to soak up the rays. Among them were Jim and Nancy Beaumont, along with their three little ankle biters, Jane, aged 9, Arnna, aged 7, and wee Grant, just 4 years old. Now these nippers were the picture of innocent joy. They were building sandcastles, splashing in the shadows and generally having a whale of a time. Witnesses recalled him buying pasties and ice creams from a nearby shop, the picture of carefree summer bliss. But here's where the plot thickens. Several folks reported seeing the children chatting with a tall blonde bloke. A friendly chap, they thought, harmless. But in hindsight, as they say, it's 2020, because shortly after midday the Beaumont children vanished into thin air, leaving behind nothing but their tales and a lingering sense of dread. Now the disappearance of these three kids sent the whole bloody country into a frenzy. Police, volunteers, even the army were out in force, combing every nook and cranny of that beach and beyond. It was like trying to find a needle in a haystack, only the needle was three kids and the haystack was the entire bloody continent. But the investigation wasn't all smooth sailing, mind you. It was more like a drunken sailor trying to navigate a bathtub. Case in point, the infamous ransom letter. 2 years after the disappearance, this dodgy note turns up, demanding a king's ransom for the kids' return. Problem is, it was written in crayon. For crying out loud, and the grammar, atrocious. Turns out it was a prank, a sick, twisted prank that only added to the Beaumont family's agony. What sort of twat nugget would do something like that? Right then, my fellow sloths, let's have a gander at the evidence that kept the Beaumont mystery alive for over half a century. It's a right old jumble of clues and conundrums, but who knows, maybe we can shed some light on this dark affair. Witnesses recall seeing the children with a tall blonde bloke at the beach. He was described as being in his mid-30s with a thin build and a tan. But who was he? A friendly stranger? A predator lurking in plain sight? This blurred photo taken by a nearby holidaymaker is the only visual clue we have of this enigmatic figure. The children were last seen buying a pasty and an ice cream from a nearby shop. These seemingly mundane items became crucial evidence, helping to establish a timeline of their last known movements. But they also raised questions. Did the mysterious man buy these treats for them? Was it a ploy to gain their trust? 2 years after the children vanished, this bizarre ransom letter arrived at the Beaumont home written in childish scrawl and riddled with grammatical errors. It demanded a hefty sum for the children's safe return. But it was a cruel hoax, a red herring that led investigators down a dead end and caused the Beaumont family even more anguish. And then we have a bus ticket, found near the beach, was initially thought to be a clue to the children's whereabouts. However, it turned out to be a dud. Belonged to a regular commuter who'd simply dropped it. This false lead only added to the frustration and confusion surrounding the case. The children's clothing was never found, which deepens the mystery. Did they change clothes before disappearing? Were they taken somewhere where they needed different attire? This missing piece of the puzzle only added to the enigma of the Beaumont case itself. Now this evidence, much like the case itself, is a jigsaw puzzle with missing pieces. It paints a picture of a sunny day turned sinister, of innocent lives stolen, and a mystery that continues to haunt us. But even in the darkest corners, there's always a glimmer of hope that one day the truth will come to light. Now let's get down to the nitty gritty, shall we? Who could have done such a wicked thing? Theories abound, like flies at a barbie, but none have been definitively proven. Now let's have a look at the usual suspects. Like a dodgy lineup at a local nick, there were a few characters who raised eyebrows in this case. First up we got the shopkeeper with the shifty eyes. A right dodgy bloke if you ask me. Always lurking about, peering out from behind the counter like a meerkat on the lookout for trouble. Now there's no concrete evidence against him, mind you, but his beady little peepers and a penchant for staring at children were enough to make the coppers suspicious. Then there's the known paedophile who frequented the beach. A nasty piece of work this one. A predator who preyed on the innocence of children. He was questioned extensively, but nothing ever stuck. And then there were whispers. Whispers of a sinister cult operating in a dark area. Dark rituals, child sacrifices, all sorts of nasty business. Now these were just rumours, mind you, but in a case like this, every lead, no matter how outlandish, had to be explored. Of course there were other theories floating about as well. Some reckon the kids had simply wandered off and gotten lost. Others believed they'd been abducted by aliens, though I doubt little green men fancy a trip to Glenelg. And then there's always the possibility of a rogue seagull with a penchant for kidnapping, but that's a story for another pint. The truth, my friends, remains elusive, lost somewhere in the vastness of the Australian outback. But one thing's for certain, the Beaumont case is a dark chapter in our history, a chilling reminder that even the sunniest of days can hide a sinister undercurrent. The Beaumont children were never found. Their disappearance left a gaping wound in the heart of Australia, a scar that still hasn't healed. Jim and Nancy Beaumont, the parents, were utterly shattered. They spent decades searching for their children, chasing every lead, every whisper of hope. The whole ordeal changed Australia. It shook the nation's sense of safety, of innocence. Parents became more vigilant, children more protected. And the mystery of what happened to those 3 little ones on that fateful day continues to haunt the nation. Now, before we get to our pint-sized portion of villainy, I'd like to ask a little favour. If you found this tale as gripping as a kangaroo in a headlock, do give us a thumbs up, leave a comment below with your theories and musings, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our future deep dives into dark corners of history. Right then, let's raise a glass to this week's dodgy bloke, a proper wrong whose story might just chill your lager. Meet Derek Percy, an Aussie serial killer who gives sharks a bad name. This bloke wasn't just your average neighbourhood nutter, he was a one-man crime wave, targeting innocent kiddies across the country. His rap sheet was longer than a python in a pie shop, filled with unspeakable horrors. Percy was a master of disguise, often luring his victims with a friendly smile and promises of sweets. But behind that facade lurked a monster who took pleasure in inflicting unimaginable pain. While Percy was never directly linked to the Beaumont case, the similarities enough to give you the heebie-jeebies. His penchant for seaside abductions and his chillingly similar modus operandi leave a bitter taste in your mouth, like a pint gone sour. Thankfully though, Percy met his end in prison in 2013, but his legacy of evil still lives on, a stark reminder of the darkness that can lurk in the hearts of men. Now I'd like to raise a glass to Arnna, Arnna and Grant. May their souls find peace and may the truth of their disappearance one day be revealed. Right then, if you found this tale as gripping as a python in a pie shop, give us a thumbs up. It'd mean the world to a bloke like me. And don't be a stranger, leave us a comment below with your thoughts, theories and even your best dodgy bloke impression. Who knows, you might just be featured in a future episode. And if you're keen for more chilling tales and historical hooligans, hit that subscribe button faster than a whippet chasing a rabbit. Ring the notification bell too, so you'll be the first to know when we unveil our next villainous character. Till next time, keep your wits sharp and your pints full. Cheers.